It isn't easy.
Now what do you want? Go on, I'm waiting. You found some special data from the Void Abyss. Intriguing and captivating data, in fact. The organism that Keelan rescued from the Void Vessel is no ordinary dog. It's the product of highly complex and sophisticated genetic engineering involving Archaea. The signal picked up in the Void Abyss was a sensor of sorts, the organism's response to Keelan's Archaea waves. Up until this point, only Descendants have been able to respond to and detect Archaea. But it seems that this organism has a very specialized sensitivity to Archaea. We are discovering new possibilities for this fascinating creature every day. Similar to when we first saw the possibilities of humanity. The Magisters speculate that this organism was created by the ancestors. It's just a theory, for now, of course. We've categorized this organism as a new species, an Archaea Fellow. This category means that it's a being that responds to Archaea and can help Descendants in a variety of ways. Which is, of course, what we plan to use them for. I've also discovered a way to research Fellow, given enough materials. But as this organism came from the Void Vessel, you'll need to gather the materials from there. I'm hoping you'll be able to help me collect the materials I need to research this organism while you're on other operations. Oh, the special human child. What do you need?
This is an important operation, so listen carefully. In the time that we have been able to observe the Void Abyss, we've run into a problem. It seems that the Colossi in the Void Abyss that we've observed have also spotted Ingress. Seneca believes that our ability to observe the Void Abyss is due to the reduction in space between the Void and Ingress. If Seneca's hypothesis is correct, it also explains how the Colossi in the Void Abyss were able to detect Ingress. The problem is that the wavelengths of the Colossi that have been detected are different than normal. They are several orders of magnitude above standard. It is probably the largest reading ever recorded for a Colossus. Inez is investigating to see if this phenomenon is related to the exploration of VV-072. As soon as we have more information, I will pass it along. Please head to Intercept immediately. I wish you the best of luck, Descendant.
Descendant, I know the situation is urgent, but I have information to relay to you. I will be waiting.
There are traces of a special wavelength in the Colossus energy that Seneca identified. A trace that only I can detect, thanks to my void energy sensory amplification algorithm. It is very faint, but it is a trace of Arche. Of course, it is possible that the Arche trace on the Colossus is a result of a number of coincidences. It would not be surprising if a Colossus who fought a battle with the ancestors in the distant past retained these traces in the aftermath of the battle. Colossi are also still shrouded in mystery for the most part, so I would not be surprised if some of them have powers related to Arche. Descendant, we need a sample to determine why this Colossus has Arche traces on it. I will collect the data once you have intercepted it.
Launching void vessel exploration operation.
don't understand. You are the proud scouts of the Void Abyss. You serve Lord Corell in the vanguard of his legions. This is an honor. However, all I hear from you is stupidity. You don't know how to search the ship. Is that it? Useless. The legions no longer require unity. Your voice search ends here. Work. Adjutant, leave the corpse where it is. Then it serves a warning to all walkers. All shall heed the orders of Lord Corell. Master Corell, here is my report. We appear to have found the research center you ordered. Unfortunately, our Legion of Darkness units do not have the technology to fully decrypt it. We may need to request Avon to decipher it. Also, we believe Arcane is needed to re-enable it. I request that we proceed to the second stage. If we can successfully obtain Arcane Serum, we believe we can analyze a significant portion of it. We also believe the research center includes the technology to create gigantic arcane organisms. I shall present a more detailed report once we return to the fortress. Lesser commanders. With the implementation of the dread armor and the anti-void shield, our goal was in reach. The operation duration has been extended by 13 times, and losses reduced by 87.32%. These results satisfy lesser beings and your own class. All that remains is collection of the data scattered throughout the ship. According to Avon, the encrypted location of the sealed iron heart left by the modern ancestors will be found here. You understand? The glorious moment for Master Corell and Kripoff finally approaches. It has been a century since Master Corell embarked on this task. Sacrifice your lives so that we may acquire all that we need. You are dismissed.
Exploration progress report communication number 32. Suspected location of a bio-experimental lab identified. Large structure found. No specimens present. Later transmitted. Confirmed connection to Ironclad. General Aidman's orders. Facility to be observed. Transmission complete. Run control module experiment complete. Area defenses identified. Exploration report complete.
You high on void energy? That's not possible.
The firepower is too strong! Descendants! Sir, look! I have weaponry.
A handgun? What is this decoration? And how could such a small handgun penetrate a Legion battlesuit? Damn the Descendants! Everyone to your battle stations!
Be careful, there are 4 of them!
4 or 10, it makes no difference. Put them all in body bags. I will lead the way. Surround them so they can't escape.
Us, sir!
Of course you idiots! If those Albion scum get away, I will rip you apart myself.
Yes, sir! Right away, sir!
Descendant, I've analyzed the data you've uploaded to your receive channel. There are some anomalies. I was wondering if you had a moment to discuss them. There you are. You've done a great job collecting the data. I've processed and analyzed the information you uploaded. Let me break it down for you. Firstly, we only discovered VV-072 recently, but the Vulgus records go back way before we discovered it. That means the Vulgus didn't discover VV-072 around the same time as we did. They'd already been there for a long time. Luckily, the data you collected was quite detailed, giving us some clues as to why the Vulgus went to VV-072 and what they've been looking for there all this time. For starters, the information the Vulgus are after is probably related to the Ironhearts, and it's most likely the information on where the Ironhearts are hidden.
How can you be sure?
Look, this is geographical data on Ingress. It accounts for a significant portion of all the data we have, and some of it is locked with quantum encryption. The Vulgus surveyed the entire topography of Ingress 100 years ago. For them to go all the way to the Void Abyss to look for topographical information means...
It probably has something to do with the Ironhearts.
Considering how accurately Corell was able to locate the Ironheart, he must have found the information here.
If only we'd been faster. We could have turned the tables on them. Wait. Inez. What's this?
Oh, I was just about to get to that. This data is very old. It's about an engagement the Vulgus fought against an enemy on VV-072.
Hang on. Isn't this referring to Aisha's squad?
Yes, that's what I thought too. The way they described how they looked, the technology they used, their firearms, and especially the mention of the Rose of Aisha, Aisha's weapon. Everything fits, down to the bullet specs.
That means Aisha's squad survived the Void Storm and made it to VV-072.
It seems that way, but there's no record of what happened to them. If the Vulgus had killed them, it would be in these records. But there's nothing further after an entry saying they lost the targets. It's complicated. Anyway, Descendant, I'll go over this with HQ and get back to you.
Descendant, I need to speak with you in private. Can you spare a minute?
You may speak freely. I overheard your conversation with Inez and Keelan. As they guessed, the enemy that the Vulgus engaged was definitely Aisha. I had my doubts when I started reviewing the records, but when it got to the part about a red handgun and a rose engraved on it, I was convinced. A handgun engraved with a red rose was Aisha's most cherished weapon. As you know, not many Descendants use handguns as their primary weapon, and no Descendant would insist on using a handgun unless it was an RK unique weapon. For me, that confirmed the enemy that the Vulgus engaged, mentioned in those records, was Aisha. I've been obsessed with finding Aisha, waiting for the right time to go and search for her. Now that the opportunity is finally here, I've been excluded from the operation. I don't resent Alpha's decision. He's made a wise choice. But I need to ask you to do something. It's now or never. Will you look for signs of Aisha during this operation? It doesn't matter how small they are. I want to see them with my own eyes. I desperately need this.
This is Descendant Eckert. Are you busy? I've been refining the Void Vessel record tracking algorithm at HQ's request. I'll need to talk you through it. Could you spare some time? Just say the word. I'll find out everything for you. You're here. This is the device with the improved algorithm. I've added a couple of features to the Void radar configuration. Firstly, I've altered the data collection device so it detects certain wavelengths within the coordinates. I've also added a feature to amplify and track RK traces once detected, even the faintest amount. Even if the level of RK emissions drops below the threshold, it shouldn't be a problem, as long as it has been detected. The device will accurately amplify the traces and recalculate their location. It gave me some headaches along the way, but it all turned out okay. Take it to Seneca, and that's it. It'll start functioning once he's installed it. What I found most interesting during the development of the algorithm was in order to reduce the interference from void energy, I had to incorporate the principle of modulation of the gamma value of the reflected wavelength. Descendant? Descendant, are you listening?
I am analyzing the void paradox. Hello, Descendant. I've been waiting for you. That must be the algorithm Eckert modified. I'll apply it right now. When the algorithm activates, you'll be able to detect data that was previously obscured by the high levels of void energy. It'll provide an opportunity to retrieve data that would otherwise be missed due to the wavelengths. The first data to collect is the RK wavelengths, remaining on VV072. These are the records left behind by any descendants. This is a chance for us to see events that took place, people we've lost, and any truths that may have been obscured. Descendant, I hope you return safely after completing the operation.